Hello, welcome to John's Author Diary for the weekend in April the 14th, 2019. I've had a very busy week. Most of it has been spent playing with my son, because he's now on his Easter holiday. So we've been doing our usual trick of enjoying the sunshine by wrestling on his trampoline and binging on David Attenborough programmes. So we watched the whole series of Frozen Planet and Galapagos. And we also watched a film called Wreck-It Ralph, which I've never seen before, but it's great. It's a kids' movie, but it's one of those ones a bit like Shrek or Toy Story where there's a lot in there for grown-ups to enjoy. So it's basically a story about the bad guy in a 1980s video game who wanted a better life. So I thought it was really well done, really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I watched it with my 6-year-old and he completely loved it, so do check that out. In terms of actual writing, I did manage to get some stuff done. So I got my feedback from my alpha readers this week. So I've just been going through that. I made a few structural changes in the story just to get the pacing better. And I think there were one or two scenes where maybe I'd indulged a bit on the world building and nothing really happened. So what I've been able to do is mash those scenes together. So you've got the cool descriptions, you've got the cool world building stuff, but stuff is happening and that's important. And I know this because that's what I tell people. But I think it's one of those things where you kind of get lost in your own mind, get lost in your own stories. So it's sometimes good to have that reminder. So I've now got Strenfth ready for the editor. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get that out within the first week of May. I'm also in the process of rejigging the Ravenglass books. All of the books have been reformatted. They've had the links in the back changed and that kind of thing. I've also reposted them, so The Magician is now book 1. I've got Amazon to make me a series page, so that's all good. Had to re-upload every single book, shift the number across. It took a while, took me quite a few hours to get that done. I also had to order a new cover for the Ravenglass box set, so I updated that and I updated the blurbs, the descriptions based on the stuff that I did last week with the book on Amazon descriptions. But what I've realised is I've still got a lot to do in terms of actually getting everything right with this. So I've got an automation sequence on my mailing list, so when people sign up for the emails, they'll get, I think, 5 or 6 emails that give them stories, that give them information about my books. Now, at the bottom of a lot of these emails, I've got links to the old box set. So this is the one that's got the Fool on. I think one of the early emails asks readers, what did you think of the Fool? So I need to rewrite that, make sure everything's in line. So that's going to, again, take me a few hours, I think, to work through and do. And I also need to update my website, so it's just finding time to do that. As well as that, I tried out an advertising platform this week. I ran a lot of tests on a site called BookBub. I think I've basically thrown £200 down the drain. None of these tests performed at all. I read this book that was about how to do them, and it was saying, you run these test ads in order to find out some well-performing authors who write similar stuff to me, and none of them performed. I don't know what to do, because I know that when authors make this platform work, it works really well for creating income, but I can't keep throwing money away. I can't afford to do that. So I need to have a refigure. I'd kind of written that money off anyway because I thought this is going to be tests. So really, I'm seeing it as a thing that stopped me from wasting more money. My suspicion is that someone's written a book about this platform and people like me have bought it, lots of people, and so it's made the ads less effective because lots of people are probably trying the same techniques. So that's unfortunate. I think I might do a few other tests, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So an update on the Black Death series. So I think last week I mentioned that the third collaborator had lost his contribution to the second novel. He hadn't written the contribution to the third novel. Me and the other collaborator had written our parts over a year ago. So we are parting ways with the other collaborator. No hard feelings, it just is what it is. And so Lynn and I are just going to focus now on getting this book up to scratch. I think we've got a bit of extra work to do in order to make the third book work and in order to bring the word count up to a reasonable level, because at the moment it's in the very short end of the novel length. This is obviously because we've got about 20,000 words less than we originally had. So I think what we need to do is probably have a conversation over Skype and hammer out some ideas to fill in the gaps. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got the new covers ordered. And I've already put together the first book using the scenes from both of us, so that's looking good. So as well as that, I've been reading a few books this week. I have been reading The Prince by Machiavelli. So this is a non-fiction book about ruling and leadership and things like that. It's very good, actually. There's some stuff that I will no doubt use in my fantasy series. Now, this is part of me trying to read some of the classics in the Western canon, so I'm continuing that. I'm also carrying on with The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams. About halfway through that, and to be honest, it's a bit of a slog. It feels a bit bloated, a bit overwritten. The story's there, but I think it could do with a bit of editing. I think if I wrote in this style, my epic fantasy series would end up at about maybe 2 million words rather than 500,000 words. So just a style thing, I suppose. I just think more recent writers are a lot more pacier, a lot tighter. Someone like Brian McClellan or Scott Lynch, they don't indulge in the language so much, the world building, cut out a lot of the adjectives and adverbs, a lot of the stuff that just doesn't make the action flow. Finally, I've started watching the most recent series of The Man in the High Castle. So this is series 3. I watched the first 2 series last year, and it's great. Really love this programme. Love the Philip K. Dick book, but this takes it in a new direction. There's a really intriguing character who isn't in the actual book, who is high up in the Nazi Party in America, and he's a fascinating character because he has a son who appears to be developing multiple sclerosis, and so he's covering his tracks because the Nazis didn't like people with disabilities. There was only one place for them, and that was the grave. So I've had no questions this week, but if you have a question, please do email me. It's john@johncronshaw.com. I'm also looking for advanced reviewers for my Ravenglass Chronicles series. Because of removing The Fool from Amazon, a lot of my initial reviews have gone. So The Magician only has 8 at the moment. So what I'll do, if you're interested, email me, john@johncronshaw.com, and I will send you a review copy of The Magician. And then if you like it, I'd appreciate a review on Amazon. I keep posting stuff on my Patreon as well, so you get my author diary a day early. Plus I've been posting stories and articles and some old podcasts that no longer exist. So that's patreon.com/johncronshawauthor. Please do check that out. If you're getting any value from this podcast or anything else that I've done, you can support me there from as little as $1 a month. So until next time, cheerio.